back again so soon. That was ironic because I haven't been here in years. I need to get my notebook out because I get confused about what I'm talking about. So the title of this video is, what the frick is it? What is this one that I'm doing today? This one's called Ignorance is Bliss. It's about how honest questions can be harmful. This is not centered towards trans people or you know, like pansexual or the LGBT community in general. It's sort of towards you, but it's mainly towards the allies or people who are looking to be better allies. That should be my shirt keeps falling down. This is a disaster. So what is an honest question that can be harmful? Little questions from a trans point of view. Oh, what's your birth name? So if, for example, you walk into a hairdresser's, because that's often where you're stuck in a chair for an hour or two and you're forced to make small talk. And if you're trans, there's always this sort of thing of before transitioning or pre-transition if you're not passing, and notice I use that word very ironically because you don't have to pass to be trans, but I'm talking about when people don't question your gender from the get-go when they look at your face, which shouldn't happen anyway, but so you sit down and, you know, the question is, you know, so like, why people want to know, you know, you're transitioning your gender. If you're not hiding that fact, people are curious because a lot of people won't have met an open trans person. They probably will have met a trans person in their life, but not someone who's going to talk to them about it. So the questions start coming out. I get it. You're curious. I am too, sometimes, about people who I don't understand in the LGBT community. But you have to think through your questioning before you ask it. So if someone says a name, so say a trans dude has walked into a barbershop and the dude who's cutting his hair is so chill with it, but you know, goes, so Mark's not your birth name, what was your name before? You're trying to kind of get away from your childhood years. Why would you bring them up in a conversation? Again, think it through. Think about what a trans person might be feeling when they're transitioning and trying to pass again in the street. Just think things through, please. The other thing is jokes, surprisingly. Jokes. Like, for example, I'm pansexual. Don't say that I'm attracted to pans. Please don't. It's not funny. It's just not funny. Where do you think it's funny? I mean, you're not gonna say it in the hairdresser's shop, but everyone's gonna go, It's not. It's a really shit joke on top of everything else. Honest questions that harm, and this is a case of wanting to know information but not knowing how to just bloody ask for it and instead make a joke out of it. That's not cool. But honest to God, if you don't know what pansexuality is, just say, I'm not familiar with that. Can you please, what is that? So simple, who would have known? Let's talk about names. Did you know that the word tranny is back up on the rise? I did not. I have since found out. But here's a good question, and this relates to why ignorance is bliss. For many years, the word tranny wasn't always completely negative. A lot of transvestite men used it. Now, I do not support the idea that transvestite men are making fun of trans women or women in general. There are men that like to wear women's clothing for no other reason than they like to wear it. Done, dusted, transvestite, in my opinion, is legit. They use the words tranny to describe transvestite. So this comes from the 80s, this comes from the 90s, this is what was happening in Britain, that's what it was called. And it was never meant, in certain circles, negatively. But in other circles, it bloody well was. And as time has continued on, the word tranny has become more negative. It's become very nasty, and it's been used alongside the words trap. That's the other one, that you're trapping a man or a woman into sex with your fake body that is obviously not real. My hair's gonna fall off because I'm a trap. Yeah, obviously, you fucking idiot. Think about what you say. If someone says something is not that commonly used anymore, they're probably trying to be polite to say it's just not used. Don't be offensive, man, please. I'm fucking crying my eyes out. No, I'm not. I'm just coughing because I've had a cold for like 5 weeks. Can you stop woofing? We have 5 Labradors next door. They're great. Innocence is bliss. It is. The ally community and non-ally community, because they don't know what the fuck LGBT community is living in ignorance. They don't have education to tell them about LGBT people. They don't come across it unless it's a stereotype within media. Their education of LGBT is not going to come from watching YouTube videos like the LGBT community does if they're youngsters. There is no education on LGBT unless they are in themselves LGBT, which kind of defeats the purpose, or they have friends or family that are and are going to educate them. It's the most frustrating thing that you can't get angry with people for asking the same questions over and over. And if someone asks me for my birth name, I want to kind of be angry, but I also know that they just don't fucking realise that they're asking something a bit insensitive or very insensitive, depending on your viewpoint. I try and take a big hecking deep breath and try not to lose my shit. Because here's the other thing. People assume that LGBT, I can't talk today, LGBT plus people have an agenda. We do. It's a good one. And that we're very, very negative about it. We're angry about it. How could the fucking cis het sex people do this to us? We hate them. We are angry. How could you not know our pronouns? Did you just assume my gender? I hate that joke so much. And we kind of are. And that's kind of sad. Because we do live in a world where discrimination is rampant. Where it is kind of hard to live as a trans person. Or to display affection for your loved one on the street if they're the same sex as you. We are angry. But we are not beyond the point of wanting to educate. I think it's really important that the youngsters in the LGBT community, put a huge amount of emphasis on educating first and foremost, even when questions are a bit insulting or a bit harmful, because if they're not meant harmfully and they're not meant hurtfully, then it's just through ignorance, and ignorance can be treated because you can educate them on those questions and on LGBT matters. Thank you for listening to me just lose my shit for a good few minutes. I hope you enjoyed this. There will be another one coming soon.